paranormal journey.
But your grandfather and your father both have had encounters. They've heard, we've been in the garage working on whatever.
They were alarmed because my aunt had just passed away and they heard footsteps upstairs and nobody was at the house at the time.
He came down and he was white as a sheet. He said, "No, Mom, I really did hear the footsteps. And they're upstairs and they're in the kitchen."
What history do you know behind this house?
Well, it was built in 1924. It would be your great-grandmother's family that lived there. They used to live
Up at Parkway, and they had one more son, Ernest, that passed away when he was 18.
They built this house, that house, and they lived there until they passed on.
In the house, though, they did pass away. Both, I think my great grandmother had heart disease, or basically they're both very, very old when they died. They both died in the middle bedroom where Harvey and Trish sleep.
And then one of the sisters had it until she passed on. And when she passed on, she left it to your grandpa.
Hello.
Here we are at our next lockdown. We're going up to interview the gentleman and part of the family that lives here. They've had several experiences with this house. They've been here for, I want to estimate, about between 15 and 20 years. They've been here and they rent this house from our grandparents. So here we go up. We're going to see if they're home and start their interview.
Hi, my name is Harvey Althouse. I'm originally from the Midwest. Paranormal Journey is here at my house, finally. Although Caitlin and Amanda are ancestors, direct ancestors, they're actually great-grandchildren of the original people who live here. My wife and I moved in here in 1990, and I don't remember what date it is, what month, but this year is our 20th year of living here. And I'm telling you, since day one, the first day, your grandfather, Ernie Bertoli, and your grandmother, Joanne, more or less asked Trish and I, when they heard we were getting married, hey, do you guys need a place to stay? Because if you do, we have a place. We set up a meeting to have them show us, right? So we walked up here, and I was wondering why your grandfather was dragging his feet. I just really didn't know at the time. And we came up the back door and got inside. Your grandmother went before me. She was standing right in the middle of the kitchen. We weren't even here 5 minutes. And I'm like, wow. And your grandmother said, "What's the matter?" She says, "I know it's been closed up for a while." She says, "No, no, no." I said, "I smell violets, lavender, whatever that is. I just smell it. It was really strong in my nose." And at that, your grandfather said, "Oh, I'm out of here." And he went down the stairs. And I'm like, "Is there a problem?" And Joanne really didn't say anything at the time. Other than, she goes, "Oh, that's funny, because the lady, who lived here, your great-grandma, well, however many greats it is,
Right.
The flowers that she really specialized in were in either the lavender or the violets, right next door." And I don't know what I was doing. I remember I was at the kitchen. I was washing my hands or something, and I looked down from her window because it looks directly on this side of our house. And down below this window, there's a window to the garage. And for a brief second, I'm washing and I'm going, "Hey, Camille, who's the old man with the glasses and the mustache downstairs?" And Camille goes, "There's nobody over there. There shouldn't be anybody over there." Right? Now, so we move in. And I would say relatively soon, because I'm a night owl, I stay up late, I started hearing lots of footsteps. Now, this is an old house. It was built in 1918, from what I understand. It is the person who owned this house was also the person who built and owned the house in Boulder Creek. I had a cat. He was a black and white cat, and we called him by the name of Tanaya, and we had him when he was a little kitten. Every once in a while, this cat in the middle of the night would scare the bejesus out of me. He'd go run up and down the hallway like he'd trying to run away from something, and then you hear him like he was fighting something, right? And I kind of get up and look, and he jumps under the bed, or he jumps up on the thing. It wasn't all the time, but when he did, it was pretty unnerving. And I'm sure you've heard a growl before.
Yes.
Right? That deep guttural. Okay, so did that numerous times over the years. And then you just get used to it. The house, it's, almost 100 years old. It's got creaks, it whatever. And it lasted through the 1989 earthquake, which was a great thing. Yeah. But since we've lived here, I've noticed a lot of weird things. Smells, cold spots, not a lot of those, but for a house that doesn't have air conditioning.
Right.
And not too long ago, I was laying here on this couch, and I hear, Harvey. And I went, yes. I even got up. I thought my wife called me. And she goes, no, I didn't call you. Right? But the feeling here has been really pleasant. I mean, it totally feels like a home, right? But it's just kind of unnerving, especially when you're here by yourself.
My keys are right here on my belt loop. They can't move. I always put them here. I'm here with Clara, and she's going to let us know what happened, her experiences in her room, let alone within the house. So Clara, what have you experienced in the past few days?
Well, probably 2 months ago, I was just lying here in bed reading my book, and Ray was just making her bed, and I heard someone whisper in my ear, Clara, and I felt a cold chill go down my neck. And I asked Marie, did you just call my name? And she's like, no. And then I was just laying there again, and I felt a cold chill go down my neck. And then also, a lot of nights, I've heard footsteps walk across the hallway and in the attic.
And in the attic?
Since I'm right above it.
Right.
And that's about it.
Have you taken any pictures while you're laying in bed as you're reading? Has anyone come in to take pictures to see if you see anything, or?
Well, I did this one time with this camera because I heard a noise where Marie's backpack fell over, and I took a picture and it looked like a back. Dad, remember the picture with the back?
So I'm here with Marie. This is Clara's sister. You are 10. Sorry, she's 10. And I've heard she's had a few experiences in this house also. So, Marie, what is your recent experience?
Well, I've had one today, and I was in Liam's room, and I was cleaning up some musical instruments, and I felt like someone was pressed up against me, and so I was freaked out, and so I just stood there, and I ran out of the room because I was so freaked out because it felt like someone was like this to me.
They're pushing up against you, trying to push you over?
Well, it felt like someone was this close to me, and so I got freaked out, and I moved around, and it still felt like they were following me, and so I just ran out of the room.
What was your other experience?
The other experience, I was in our room. Claire was at Outdoor Ed, and we still had our bunk beds. And it was really creepy because Clara, she has her DS up there on the dresser, and it sounded like someone was playing it one night. I heard the sound of the sheets ruffling when they try to reach across to get it. And also, I heard the sound of it tapping, and also I heard the sound of it sliding across the dresser when she's trying to put it back. And one day I noticed that it was out of place and Claire hasn't touched it, and so I got really scared, and that night I almost started crying because I was so scared.